Hey guys, welcome back to whatever this is. Still haven't thought of a name for whatever I'm gonna call this. But basically, just me sitting around talking about basketball. The team I want to talk about first today are the Charlotte Hornets, not the Mavericks. Ooh, different. But no, I love the Charlotte Hornets. I've been on record of loving the Charlotte Hornets for years and years now. Kimball Walker, favorite player of all time. That's probably gonna change because I really like Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant's gonna be my favorite player by if he retires and if not sooner. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about the Charlotte Hornets game Monday with the Boston Celtics in Charlotte. It was one of the better games of the year. It went into overtime, and the Boston Celtics ended up winning, handing the Charlotte Hornets the first loss of the year. And it was a really close game all throughout, real back and forth. And it really was LaMelo Ball kind of coming out and showing that he really is going to be a star in this league, and even that Miles Bridges, who they started this year over PJ Washington, which I thought they should have done last year. I really like Miles Bridges. I think he has a lot more upside than PJ Washington. PJ Washington didn't actually play at all that game, but throughout the year they've been playing Bridges over PJ. And I love PJ Washington, but I think Miles Bridges' athleticism lets him have a higher ceiling than PJ Washington. And right now, Miles Bridges is averaging like 30 points on the year. He had 25 in the game against Boston, and so did LaMelo. LaMelo shot the ball super efficiently from three. He shot like 50% and went like 7 for 14 from three and 7 of 19 from the field. I wish he was a little bit more aggressive from like not three, and not he didn't make a layup or anything that game, which is a little strange. That's not real characteristic. But what you really see from LaMelo most often is his playmaking. He had a couple of really nice passes. He had a behind the back kind of thing to Miles Bridges for a dunk, and that was real. That was always real exciting. The Charlotte Hornets are exciting. They're an exciting young basketball team, and coming into the year, a lot of people didn't know where they were, and myself included. Uh, I do a yearly like NBA prediction. This came out in like September, or I did this in like September, like before the season started and all that. And I had the Charlotte Hornets as a 7 seed right here. I had them above the Atlanta Hawks and New York Knicks. Now, is that something that's going to sustain throughout the year? I'm not sure, but they look really, really good right now. They beat up on the Nets, where Lamelo Ball didn't even play the fourth quarter because Ish Smith took over. And when you have Ish Smith giving you quality minutes like that, that's something that's really good. That's really good. But back to Monday with the Celtics. I almost said Hornets. Hornets Celtics. Um, Kelly Oubre has a really weird fit on this team, and I don't really know where he stands in this lineup because they're not even fully healthy. Like I said, PJ Washington didn't play. Terry Rozier didn't play. And when those two people come back, I just don't know where Kelly Oubre is going to fit. He's a super, super good defender and on a team that needs defense because LaMelo Ball is not a good defender, and Miles Bridges is an okay defender purely off athleticism, but Kelly Oubre is the best perimeter defender on this team. And I think he kind of showed that Monday. He started off the first quarter and the first half really hot. He had like 5 threes in the first quarter, and it was looking to be like a double-digit three game for him, which is something he's not really known for. He's an average to below average shooter in the league, especially from behind the line. And after the first quarter, first half, really, he just did absolutely nothing. But his defensive prowess is always there. And when you do get a Terry Rozier back, I don't know where Kelly Oubre is going to fit in. But right now, he's fitting in super well next to LaMelo as like the two guard, small forward hybrid, depending on where you have like Gordon Hayward and Miles Bridges. Uh, and then you have Cody Zeller, who's a okay center. He's nothing special. Wait, no, it's not Cody Zeller. It's. Oh my God, it's not Cody Zeller anymore. It's Mason Plumlee. Oh my God, I'm just so used to having Cody Zeller as a center. Anyway, um, I think LaMelo Ball will be an All-Star this year. I think he has the name recognition. I think he's playing well enough. I think he's averaging like 20 some points a game now. I don't know if he'll average 20 points per game throughout the whole year, but he definitely has the potential to. I definitely can. You can definitely count on him to have, I don't know, 20-point games. And going back to where I was earlier, I do the All Star predict. I predict All Stars as well on this little thing. And I had LaMelo Ball as a first time All Star. Now the All Star game's still real far to come, but I think if the season or if the All Star game ended and we're voting right now, he would definitely be an All Star. He might be an All Star starter on a team that's projected to win. I don't know, 40 some games, especially with the season coming back to normal. I think this team is real fun. I think this is a team that you need to like look into and be like, hey, Charlotte Hornets are playing. This might be something I want to watch. I don't know how much noise they'll be making in the playoffs because they're still young, somewhat inexperienced. They got absolutely blown out by the Pacers in the play-in game last year to just get out of the playoffs. And that kind of sucked to see because I was really rooting for them because I like the Hornets. I love the Hornets. Um, I'm really excited to see what this Hornets team has, and they're still super young. So even like a few years down the road, they're still going to be pretty good. And LaMelo and Miles Bridges only have more time to get together and learn what they're going to do. I don't think Miles Bridges will be averaging 30 points per game throughout the rest of the season, by the way. I think he's going to like hover around that 20 points per game, maybe like 19, maybe like 22. But I think the leap that he's had is really impressive. The Charlotte Hornets have shown that they can beat good teams. So I'm just kind of looking forward to seeing where they're going to end up and how sustainable this, 3-1 is. Now it's still early in the season, but we'll see. Now, last night, the Dallas Mavericks played against the Houston Rockets, and it was the best game that the Mavericks have played so far against the worst team that the Mavericks have played so far. So, is it really a good game, or are you really just playing the Houston Rockets? I don't know. But they win the game 116 to 106, and it was the best offensive showing of the season so far, which is really nice to see because the past couple of games, the offense has looked really, really bad. In tonight's game, I think one of the bigger changes was that Reggie Bullock played 17 minutes. He should still be playing more minutes and should be starting. And I will be on that boat until he eventually starts because it's only a matter of time until it comes. But he shot the ball super well, 4 of 9 from 3, 6 of 11 from the field. And those 4 of 9 from 3, it really felt like he hit a lot more because the shots that he didn't make from the 3 were like rimming in and out. Just, what are you going to do about it? Like, hey, just move on to the next one kind of threes. Not like off the side of the rim threes where it's like, wow, that was really ugly. But no, he was like pull up, sidestep, on coming off screens. He was looking like what we thought Josh Richardson was going to kind of be like. Or, well, not really. We knew Josh Richardson wasn't that kind of a shooter, but he's filling that Josh Richardson role of 3 and D, and even better than Josh Richardson because Josh Richardson last year was one of the worst Mavericks I've ever seen. Absolutely terrible. Absolutely terrible. And he's not doing very well in the Celtics and looks like he might get cut out of their rotation. But other than Reggie Bullock, who had a great game, great defense, great offense, great shooting, Maxi Kleba hit 3 or 4 from 3, which was really good to see, especially since he's been really kind of subpar from 3 so far this season in the other 2 games. But, so he's picked up the phone, 3 or 4 from 3. Jalen Brunson tied a career high with 11 assists, really playmaking the ball out there. And he was running with the starters a lot. He ended up with 28 minutes. And it was nice to see. He didn't shoot the ball super well from 3, but 50% from the field for Jalen Brunson. We'll take it. Moses Brown logged 3 minutes, and this is a game where Jason Kidd played all 15 of his eligible players, and Moses Brown played the least amount of minutes, which kind of sucks, but it's all right. He played 3 minutes and had the best sequence of the game. It was late third, early fourth, I think. And Moses Brown gets a block on one end, just like swallows the ball, and then gives the ball up to Frank Ntilikina. And Moses Brown runs the floor, and he gets a dunk out of it from a really nice Frank Ntilikina pass. And it gave a lot of energy to the team, and it was like, oh wow, okay. And since then on, from then on, I guess, the team was playing with a lot more energy, and it was a good sequence of high energy play. Dorian Finney-Smith 0 for 5 from 3, but he was really active on the defensive side. 3 blocks, 6 rebounds. Now, if he's not making threes, he's not doing a whole lot on the offensive side. There weren't any Dorian Finney-Smith post-ups this game, which is kind of nice to see. But turning the ball over 1 time, 3 blocks, and 6 rebounds, I'll take it. Kristaps Porzingis played 19 minutes. He got hurt. The injury isn't said to be very serious, but playing 19 minutes, and when he was playing, he shot like 2 of 10 from the field. But I'm willing to give him a pass on this game, which is something you're not going to hear me say very often, only because this is what he looked like. That is like the biggest black eye I have maybe ever seen. I mean, that's bad, and it was like swollen shut before the game. So you kind of have to like chalk it up to how well can he really be shooting with one eye. And I'm willing to give him a pass. I am. We got MVP Luka back today, which was nice to see. Just asshole Luka, 14 rebounds, 7 assists, and 26 points, and like one of the better blocks I've ever seen him play. He's not necessarily good defensively, but he's definitely underrated. He's definitely a serviceable defender now. But he had a really nice block from behind. But the one thing that I do kind of want to touch on the most is also shout out to Boban for 5 of 5 from the field, 11 points. Before we get on to the bad things, we got to talk about Boban a little bit. The bad things. The Rockets shot open threes left and right, and it felt like every single one of them went in. Now, while they only shot 41%, we were giving up open threes to like Daniel Tice. And we don't need to be giving up open threes to Daniel Tice. Christian Wood shot 2 of the most open threes I've ever seen. Jalen Green kind of was really quiet this game. 16 shots, 4 made, and 10 points. It's about as good as a defense as you're going to play. He just seemed to be doing too much out there. He seemed to go into Dallas and been like, okay, I can score on them. He just didn't. Which, it's a young guy who's supposed to be like the scorer on this team. So you're going to get these duds. There's not much you're going to do about it. Kevin Porter Jr. also kind of put up a dud, 13 points, minus 18 from the field. Once again, young team. They're kind of taking on the Kevin Porter Jr. experiment. And I think it's going to work out because I really like Kevin Porter Jr. But Eric Gordon was like the Eric Gordon that we wanted coming out of high school. 22 points on 63% from the field. Just lacing it on pretty contested shots too. The layups he took, he was finishing like over here, over like Moses Brown, Kristaps Porzingis, and threes with like Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dorian Finney-Smith in his face. And I think he's going to be a buyout candidate for sure, or maybe like a trade candidate at the trade deadline, where a lot of like contested or contending teams are going to be like, hey, he's really good. We can use him. We can use that shot creation. We can use that quarter 3 shooting. And the Rockets don't really have a need for him because, they're supposed to be bad and they're going to be bad. So he's definitely going to be someone that I'm going to look at during the trade deadline to get traded. But all around, it was one of the better games that we've played. Jason Kidd definitely was doing something new, playing all 15 players. And all 15 of them had, their good moments and their bad moments. Well, maybe not all of them had bad moments. But everyone had, like, a good moment. And I don't know if we're going to play 15 players going forward. I think it might just because we were playing the Rockets, and the Rockets are bad. The Rockets are they're just bad. So that might be something that we just save for bad teams to get like Moses Brown and Frank Ntilikina some minutes to see what we really have there. I think the offense, like I said, looked better, and I think the defense is going to come around maybe, hopefully. But if we're scoring the ball at 116 points per game rate, then I'm willing to live with the Jason Kidd offense. Yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Podcast coming out tomorrow. All my socials and everyone else's socials from the team are going to be down below. And I'll probably do another one of these games pretty soon. Probably not focusing on a Mavericks game because I don't think the 2 Mavericks games coming up are super exciting with the Spurs and the Nuggets. But there are some pretty good games coming up online or on TV. So I'll see you then. Thank you for watching. See you next time.